All right, it looks like we're live. Let me adjust this camera a little bit. You are going to get the sound of my family vacationing and everyone in the background a little bit as well. Hope the audio is going well. And today we are going to talk about the fearful life of an entrepreneur. And as I'm talking about this, I just really want to have all of these lives. I've wanted to be as transparent as possible and talk about the feelings that go into having a business or the feelings of whatever the conversation is, and make sure that I'm communicating that well, that I'm not like putting this rose-colored glasses view on top of things. I love transparency, and I want to make sure that everyone feels this, because I don't think enough people get to see other people in business and know what it is that they may be going through. You know, what the situation is. It always looks awesome. People on YouTube always sell what they're doing as the best thing in the world, and I think that the whole thing on YouTube that I want to do is I don't just want to sell it as that. Yes, it can be amazing, and it is amazing. And we have had amazing things happen to us and amazing things kind of come from business in our life. And I want to share those too. But I don't want to mislead people. You know, you see all these get rich quick schemes and all these other things. They're misleading to people. People that say, oh, their business is awesome and all these things. Look at my wild little child right there with his noodle and grandpa with him. But it's misleading to you, you know? So, but before we get into this, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what's going on right now, why I've been shooting live videos, what has been kind of going on and what's going to be going on for the next week. And also, I want to remind you guys that if you're watching this, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you get notifications of all these videos, especially these lives. We're doing these lives and I love them as soon as they hit. So you can be leaving comments, leave comments, ask questions. I want to open this up as a open communication with anyone watching these lives that hops on here and gets to watch these. But so right now what we're doing, we're in Cape Coral, Florida. It is where we started up our second location 2 years ago. We don't have this here any longer, and it is a beautiful area though, and it is something that I can't wait to do again in the future. There's so much opportunity here, and we are taking a vacation here to get to spend 2 weeks with the wife and the kids and grandpa and really get to enjoy some time and kind of recoup from everything that business is through the year and that total grind. And a lot of what we're talking about right now is those fears of being an entrepreneur. They wear on you. So without taking too much time talking about what's going on, without taking too much time talking about what we're doing, I want to get right into it. And the first thing, I'm going to go over different things that I want to be transparent on, and I know that everyone else has had these, and I want really everyone that's watching to know that I've had these too. When you see my videos, you know, don't think that I'm some superhero, but I'm going to go through a list of the different things that are crazy on being an entrepreneur. And the first is worrying about money. You know, you see all these things happening. You see all these businesses going. You see businesses and owners on YouTube talking about their businesses, talking about this, that, and the other. And it's a real part of business to have highs and lows. Everyone's seen the picture, if you've got a Facebook, you've seen the picture of the entrepreneur like diagram, and it shows up, down, up, down, up, down, and ideally you keep getting a little higher as you go. And I've heard people talk about creating a perfect onward bell curve, you know, but it's real. You know, you might run, and then have something go wrong. You might go, and it goes up forever, but then it goes down, and you need to be able to last through those things. And worrying about money is a big thing that happens to people. Whether it be, I've talked to so many people that are thinking they're running out of money. Are we charging enough? Is my business, like, does this even make sense? And it's an open communication of, I want people to know that everybody goes through this. Everybody has fear. It's pushing through these fears And it's knowing when to jump on things, having intuition. It's knowing when to jump on these things and keep pushing anyway that really makes you great, that makes your business great. And it makes you have those decisions of, do I buy these trucks right now? Do I buy this equipment right now? Or do I just do all this, have all this used equipment? Like, what is it that I do? And everything that I've ever been involved in, it has been, you know, pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. Push yourself outside of your comfort zone. So if right now having what you've got feels good and going in, I'm not telling people to over borrow, or I'm not telling anybody to do anything specific, but it's whatever it is right now that you're comfortable with, I'm telling you to push outside of that and be uncomfortable, because that's where all the growth comes from in business. All the good things, all the amazing things comes from people that weren't afraid to risk the ordinary to get to have their life become extraordinary. Hey Nicole, what's happening? Love you, honey. I'm glad we can be here on this vacation together. Thank you for commenting. Leave many more comments. Also, anyone that is watching, we're talking about the fears of being an entrepreneur. The first one we've hit on is money so far. We're also going to be doing a big challenge here at the end, like it says in the title. And, I want anyone that's watching this, please comment, leave your fears. Let's open dialogue is the thing I love about life. Anyone that wants to ask any question can throw it out there, and maybe not feel as, when you see these edited YouTube videos from people that have businesses, from people that have companies, it all looks so perfect. And I want to kind of open the door of it's not always perfect, and comment anything. There's no question that is not worth asking. So, because knowledge is power, and the right knowledge is power. So make sure you get as much as possible and you get the correct knowledge so you can grow your business and your life. So we hit on money and it being fearful, it being a thing that can cause some scarcity in your life and in your business when you're creating a business. Now, the next thing that is fearful and is so challenging is being an entrepreneur. And I think a lot of people don't see this when they originally get into it, or when they're thinking of business, because everyone thinks owning a business means you're rich and means you're going to do super, super well, and that you're going to live at like these houses we're staying at for a rental right now, that think you're going to stay at some place, or you're going to have multiple homes like this all over the world. Like that's not what it means. You can be amazing, you can fail, it can be anything. And the next thing that I want to talk about is, the worst part about that is there's no one to talk to about it. Your friends don't understand. The people out there that you would think that you would console about all of your problems, all of your issues in business, you can't even console them because they don't have it. So they don't have the fear about money. They don't have, and I mean, they may have the fear about money, but they don't have the business fear of money. They don't know what it's like to know that, this week I have to sell this many jobs just to pay the bills. They don't know, you can't relate and you can't share and get feedback from people that aren't doing the same thing. If you're going to a 9-to-5 job, again, I apologize about the screaming kids in the background. My kids are total lunatics. It's vacation, so, I am totally open to whatever they want to do. But so if they want to scream like maniacs and jump in the pool, scream like maniacs and jump in the pool. It's all good. Don't worry about it. But you can't even relate to these people, because if someone has a 9-to-5 job, it's not a bad thing. Like, having a 9-to-5 job is an amazing thing for a lot of people, but you can't go and talk to them about your problems in your business, or why you're afraid of not getting enough work this week, or why you're afraid that you're not going to be able to keep your employees busy, or why you're afraid that you're going to have to lay people off. That's one of the most challenging pieces, is looking for people that you can talk to about your problems when there's not really that many people out there that are necessarily around you that are going through the same thing. So when you talk to someone that just has a job and they're working a 9-to-5 schedule, and you talk to them about some of these problems, I mean, they're going to give you their feelings, but they can't give you being in it. They can't give you what it is truly like. They can't give you what it is, what they feel, what it feels like to lay off people, what it feels like to not have enough money to pay for payroll, what it feels like to feel like you're going bankrupt, whatever it feels like. I mean, like, there's so many things in business that a person that feels like there is just complete security in a job, they can't relate this to you, because most people feel like business owners are wild lunatics, that they just, like, they're living in a whole different world, they're making their own super sweet thing, and you can't relate. So the next thing was, friends don't understand and they really can't relate to what you're talking about, and it can be challenging because you're looking for people to talk to, and you look to your friends because they're the people you communicate with all the time, and they might not have a whole lot for you. And that's not bad. It doesn't make them bad people. It just means that it's a different world you live in. It's a different thing you're doing. It's a little out of the ordinary, and out of the ordinary is not something that everyone has the answer for. So, second thing is, friends don't understand. The third thing about this is, on these fears, the fearful life of an entrepreneur. If someone jumps on, and you're just jumping on now, leave a comment, leave questions, leave something down below. But the third thing is just like friends don't understand, isolation is so real. And I want to talk about all these things, and I want to be crystal clear and honest and transparent. It can be so isolating. I said that, you might not have the people to talk to. You also are completely isolated because of that. You don't have the people to talk to. Your family doesn't understand. Your direct family, your spouse and your kids might not understand the stresses you're going through, why you have to work so hard, why you have to push so hard. And you might feel like you're the only person that knows what it's like. You might feel like the only person that realizes that, once you own this business, every day you've got to get up and do it. It doesn't matter, it feels like everybody else can stop, and everybody else can throw in the towel and not care. And you know what, I'm just going to give up on this and move on to the next thing. But if you do that in business, you have nothing. If you stop, you'll end up with nothing, and it's scary, and it's hard, and it's a real challenge, because when you have people around you, especially when it's scary when you're family, sometimes if you feel like your family doesn't understand that, because they're the people that's close to you, and they just don't know they can't feel the fear, because they're not doing the thing that is making it, or is making you feel some of the things you're feeling. So the next one is how isolating it can be. It can be a really scary place. It can be a really lonely place. I'm not selling being an entrepreneur or a business owner very well. And I'm not trying to, because that's the problem. Is I feel like a lot of people oversell what it is, and don't talk enough about what it can be, and what it can do to your life. It can bankrupt you, it can ruin marriages, it can ruin families, it can ruin friendships. And you need to be realistic about what your expectations are, and you need to be realistic about who you are as a person, and if you're built to push through those things, because stopping is not an option unless you don't want it to work. That's the only time that's an option. So it can be super isolating. But with all this being said, as much as it can be isolating and the fear of being an entrepreneur can be insane, you also need to turn that back around and listen to these kids. I love them. I love being able to spend so much time with my family, and get a little bit of time away, and get to see my wild boy and grandpa and everybody interact. But so as much as it's isolating, and as much as the fear of being an entrepreneur can be scary, and can be a total challenge, you also really need to use that to fuel you. That's something that I've realized in business. When you feel like there's not enough work for your people, or you're not going to make ends meet on this, or you're not going to do this or that or the other. I've talked to business owners Nicole, it's so worth acknowledging how hard it is on relationships, but just like you work on your just work on your relationships like you work on your business. Yeah, I mean, that's 100% true. You've got to work on, that's why people become wealthy because they focus on their money. People become amazing business owners because they focus on their money and their business. And you really need to be able to. I don't believe in splitting it all up and things being perfectly balanced, but you need to be able to spend time on different things. Like, if you spend all the time in the world on your business and money, you will become a rich, badass business person. And if you had a wife, you won't have them anymore, and you won't have a good marriage. So you got to focus on different things. You got to, even if you push super, super hard in certain aspects and certain seasons of your life, you've got to come back and be able to focus on your wife and your kids. Like, if we push for a year, we need to push for 4 months on the kids and wife to get that straightened back out. And you need to continuously be rolling on that, because just like Nicole mentioned, and I see some more people hopped on here, leave comments, leave questions. We're talking about the biggest fears, the fearful life of an entrepreneur. And just like she mentioned, is you need to be able to work on your marriage, your family, just like you work on your business to make it work. But what I was getting into before we got into that was using fear to fuel you. Being scared, it gives you that hungry. Being fearful can give you that hungry feeling. And truly, there's two things you can, the primitive nature of our brain is this prehistoric thing that is designed to have fight or flight. So, so many of us just have stuff happen and we want to hide and we want to be scared of it and we freeze, and that is the total opposite of what you need to do when you get into situations like this. You need to use, and it takes training. Like, I've constantly have things that when something goes wrong, when something goes sideways, whether it be financial, whether it be a job doesn't go right, whatever the family problem, this or that, a speeding ticket can freeze me because I'll get scared, and it's not even, and so I freeze, and then I go straight to flight. Like, I want to get away from it. And that's what your primitive mind wants to do. But really, the thing that you can do is use that fear. Use what fears you have to fuel you. When you're scared, when you're running, it can cause you to run wide open. It can cause you to go, and that's what can fuel you to go. Like all these houses behind us, if you were to start a business where we're at or wherever you're at, that fear of not providing for your family, that fear of letting other people down, that fear of all these different problems, if you use that will drive you to just go out there and knock on every door, sell more stuff. And that's really the big focus. I see, like I said, more people jumping on here. Leave some comments, leave some questions, and we're talking about the fearful life of an entrepreneur. And I'm hitting on using fear as a motivator. Using fear as something that keeps you motivated, that keeps you running, that makes it where you just can't fail. Because as you feel that fear coming up behind you, you use that to keep you running, to keep you driving, to keep you hitting on the things in your business you need to do. Getting fearful and locking up will kill you. Get fearful and use it to drive. Sell work. If you're fearful about your relationship falling apart, do whatever it takes, whether it be dates, whether it be counseling, whether it be anything. Use the fears in your life to drive you to make things better. Business, life, anything, it works. Use fear to drive you. So that's kind of my next piece of that. And you can use this for like everything in your life. Like I just mentioned, you can use fear to drive you for everything. And I'm not saying you should constantly be scared, but almost, Tony Robbins has a saying, Wyatt, what's up? Fear definitely keeps you motivated, may not look like it needs to happen at the moment, but it's happening for a reason. So true. Things happen for a reason. I believe that you don't get anything given to you that's more than you can take. And fear stretches your your comfort zone. It stretches everything about you as a person. It makes you stronger. You know, if you're not going out and you're not going into battle and you're not doing things that are challenging you, that are making you a little bit scared, it's like becoming a better speaker. So many people are afraid of speaking to this camera. You see this, you guys, right there? So many people are afraid of speaking to this camera. So many people, I play with pens when I talk, and it's not even because I'm nervous. I'm just fidgety. So many people are afraid of public speaking, and you know what makes that fear go away? Is continuing to do it. You step up to the plate, even though you're scared, and you do it anyway. That is the same with business. That is the same with live. Hey, Elijah, what's up? Finally made it. Yes, I'm live. We're talking about anyone that's watching this, comment. We're talking about the fearful life of an entrepreneur. We're talking about, you know, so far we've hit on worrying about money, friends don't understand, there's no one to talk to, how isolating it can be, and now we're hitting on, you know, you were getting closer to some of the end of some of these topics, but not letting fear control you, using it to fuel you, using fear to fuel you and make you drive it and keep hammering on it no matter what, because you've got fear chasing you and you're motivated by your purpose and everything else, and you know, like, the worst thing that could ever be possible is fear catching up to you and something actually bad happening, so you just keep hammering no matter what. And I was also mentioning how you can use this in all the different pieces of your life. And as you build these things, you know, I hear Gary Vaynerchuk talk about this all the time, that he makes decisions on the fly. He just knows exactly what to do. He's got a gut feeling and he runs with it. And in this business position, the craziest thing, this brings up something awesome that I want to talk about, but is using intuition to make your choices. You know, you're gonna have gut feelings of what to do, and sometimes, like, the gut feeling of what's right is still what scares you, and you've got to build that intuition. You've got to learn to trust that intuition of, man, it's so freaking scary, but I want to do it anyway, and it feels right to me. There's been so many. We just bought a mini excavator. It was scary to me because it was an expensive thing that I know we can use it a lot, but it was just scary to me. And in my gut, it was like the first house I ever bought. The first house I ever bought, I just knew it was the one. I had to buy it. And that's how I felt about this thing. I was like, I know that is the tool we need. I know it's going to change our business. Buy it. So I don't even think I got into it. Tony Robbins saying, if you can't, you must. You know, like if you're scared, you must go do it anyway. What? Nice, man. What mini X did you get? We got a Cat 3035. It's an awesome excavator. It's not huge. It's not little. Yes. Any purchase, man. You go spend, I don't care if it's $5,000, $10,000, $40,000, $100,000. You know, it takes guts to go out and do stuff. You know, business takes guts. It might not even be financial. You know, it just takes guts in general. Calling people that don't want to talk to you because they're already mad at you. Firing people, laying people off. You know, I'm not hitting on the good parts. I'm talking about the challenging parts. Everybody wants to tell everyone, that's our best quality, is we pat people on the back and we tell them, yeah, you did a good job. Yeah, you did a good job. You know, everybody wants to call from the customer that told you did awesome. And the fact of the matter is that's not every phone call. That's not everything that happens. That's not life. Life is not perfect. If it all went sweet, everyone would go out and run a business. If everything was perfect and everything always made financial sense, everyone would go out and do it. 99% of people that went and started a lawn care business, people thought I was a freaking idiot when I started a lawn care business. They said, Jacob is just going to go mow grass. I am 99% sure I remember walking down streets hanging out door hangers, and I don't know if it was real, but I just assumed it was real. Someone that I knew was passing me, and I was doing this in my cowboy boots and blue jeans and my scooter shirt. And I remember them laughing when they went past. Maybe it wasn't to me, but to me it felt like they were for sure laughing at me because I'm doing this stupid thing. And most people are going to think that. You know, do you think people when Elon Musk decided he wanted to put, and Elon Musk is a badass already, so people go with it. But if you came up with the idea that you want to make travel to Mars or wherever it is that he's wanting to go to like a common thing that everyone can do, like, people that create stuff, others think they're crazy. And also, people that are shooting for more, everyone wants to hold them down, because most of your friends, like, you learn your true friends when you have a business, because the more you do, the more badass you become, or whatever. I don't want to sound like I'm becoming badass or whatever it is, or I put the wrong spin on it. But the more you financially become and the more success you have, I think that's the better word, not badass, but the more success you have. You look around and look at all the people that, they thought you were the cool thing when you were partying with them, but now you're no longer the fun version of yourself. Everyone is there to, I said this before, everyone is there to help you do a keg stand. No one is there to give you a high five when you make it in business or when you make it in life. So business really, really shows you who the true friends are. And I'm getting way sidetracked. I'm going down a huge hole on that, but I had another comment here I want to get to. Wyatt said, looking to buy a 299D, and I'm scared as hell about $100,000 investment. I know it will bring my company to the next level though, and I have to push through it to commit. And you must be doing some big stuff if you want the Hog Dog 299D. Yeah, I mean, depending on what you're doing, if you need that's the thing. I've got a friend that's got a tree business, and every time I sit down and talk to him, there's the 36-inch machine that will go through gates, and it has an 85-foot stick with a bucket on it that will lift people up and get you in trees in a backyard. And every time I see him, it's like, why haven't you bought it yet? It's a $120,000 machine, and why haven't you bought it yet? Because it is so dangerous doing what you do that sorry about shaking the camera. It's so dangerous doing what you do that it doesn't make sense to not go out and get that thing. It's going to bring you, so what you said about the 259D, it's going to bring you so much work. It's going to make you able to do so much stuff that otherwise would be sketchy, that it doesn't, like, $100,000 in the scheme of business is not like that big of a deal, Maybe when you start, but once you already know that it's rocking and rolling, I'm not saying go out and borrow a bunch of stuff and do a bunch of crazy stuff, but when you know a business is going to be successful, you have been operating, you know that I go out and get this and it's only going to allow me to do more work, by all means, go for it. Wyatt, mainly for forestry. I was going to assume that 299D was for forestry. I don't know where you're at or what you're doing, but I know you need a big machine to run that high dollar head that you're going to put on the front of that thing, because it just, like our little 259D just can't handle that. You need high flow, and you need something heavy to rock one of those heads. But I know that the hourly rate for those can be awesome. So sorry, I'm trying to get some of these comments back up. Yeah, it's called, Wyatt said, yeah, it's called the CMC 83. Those things are amazing. Yeah, those lifts are out of this world. There's things you got to commit to in your business that it just, sometimes it might feel like it's not going to make sense, or you don't know how it's going to happen, but you've got to, Grant Cardone says it the best, commit first, figure the rest out later. And how true of a saying is that? Because you can't go, and it's the fear of the business, you can't go and prove it's going to work. And by the way, there's 9 people on here. People, leave some comments. Talk about the fears you're having in your business. I would love to hear what's going on in your business, what your thoughts are, what I've been saying, if you like it, if you hate it, if you want to hear more live videos, because I love doing these lives because of the dialogue. But what a true statement to say, commit first and figure the rest out later. Because you can't test a plan. You can do all the testing in the world, but there's no proof it's going to work until you just make it work. There's no proof things in life are going to go the way you want them to. I don't care how much market analysis. I don't care about how much testing you do to see the viability or whatever of the business. There's no proof it's going to work until you go out there and you prove it's going to work. Tesla, electric cars, no proof that that's going to work. I mean, probably because everything's going that direction, but you got to go out there and make it work. Look at like such an amazing thing that the electric cars, not even a major auto player, and went out and did it anyway. Elon Musk running SpaceX and Tesla was on SpaceX. He was a day away from, I believe this is the right story, he was a day away from, if he didn't get another investor, that it was all going to fold. And there's nothing better, and it almost gives me chills. That's how transparent I'm being now. There is nothing better than listening to Elon Musk speak, and after you hear about that thing that he was a day away from SpaceX closing down, and you hear him say that I would have to be dead or incapacitated to stop. Like the drive, the passion, I will go through anything. I will do whatever it takes to make my dreams become successful. I will do whatever it takes to make the things happen that I want to make happen. And so when you have that kind of drive, you don't need a market analysis and proof of concept and everything else to make it happen. Because if you want it bad enough, unless it is just a off the wall, there's no freaking way it's ever going to happen idea, you can make it happen. I heard a friend or a person that I worked with at a business that I used to be at, he had an idea for an air-conditioned coat or shirt. I believe that is what it was, or heated. So he had this idea, and everybody made fun of him. Now Milwaukee and everybody else has a heated jacket. Now, I don't know if there's air-conditioned jackets yet or not, but it was an idea. And he let everyone around him knock him down. Thank you, Nicole, so much. You let everyone around him knock him down so much because of their small mind. And that sounds mean, so I hope no one that made fun of him watches this. But because of their small mind, that was a stupid idea. And now Milwaukee and Carhartt and probably everybody else is going to have a heated jacket. You don't think the next thing they'll have is something that'll keep you cool? We've had hand warmers forever. Why wouldn't we have something that has a different reaction? Elijah, yes, there are air-conditioned jackets now, or at least prototypes. It's Makita. See, perfect example. If someone has an idea, thank you so much for finding that out and put that on here. Perfect example of someone has an idea, and then everybody around them makes fun of them and says it's stupid and it's a dumb idea. And I can't believe you'd ever think about that, because anything new and innovative is just something that people look at and they act like you're dumb. When we wanted to start a business in Cape Coral, people looked at us like, when we wanted to start a second location in Florida, people looked at us like we were stupid. I had friends tell me it was stupid. I had this and that. I had not a whole lot of support. And it worked out of this world. Because we know what we're doing, because we run businesses, or because we run a lawn and landscape business that's successful back home, we came down here and we were blowing up. And the only reason we came back is because we did not have the correct structure and actual real management back home that we thought we did. And without me there, it failed. And that's another deal. You're going to go out and you're going to do things and they're going to fail anyway, and you got to keep pushing. And that's why, you'll see us back. People hop on here and ask us if we're going back to Florida. You'll see us back here doing something. Nicole, we won second place in the Best of Cape Coral Awards, being there. Yeah, talk about total fuel you with effing fire. I get back and I remember I'm working on a freezing cold job. I don't know when it was or what month it was, and we're putting riprap in at a commercial job site, and I don't think I was actually on the job, but I was out looking at work and I was out doing things, and I went by this job site and I get a call that we just won second place in best landscape in Cape Coral. And it's just proof that you want to go out there, you want to drive, you drive hard enough, you never stop, you'll get it. I got a friend, Jeff, I just met with him today. He moved from Illinois to Cape Coral to start a floor and surface cleaning business. And he said, he's like, I'm not giving up no matter what. And that's Jeff, you're watching that. That's the only attitude to have, is never stop. Do not stop no matter what. The only people that fail are the people that quit. So quitting is an automatic path to failure. Quitting is why people don't get what they want. Quitting is why 1% of people, the 1%ers, get there, is because They just, like, you could beat them to death and they're never going to stop. As people are on here, you know, we're talking about fears in business. Leave some comments. What are your fears in business? Leave some comments about this conversation, about the things you run into, the things that have challenged you, the things that have pushed you, that have made you afraid in your business, that we're being vulnerable right now. We're talking about them all: money, friends, personal finance, success, you know, making it in business. We're talking about everything. The next thing that I want to say, and at the end of this video I want to talk about, is really the big challenge that it says in the title. So if you stayed here this long and you're going to get to the challenge of this, is I've talked about all these different little things that make it so scary to have a business, that make it so hard, that make it so fearful, that, you know, I've heard people say that, like, you're not doing it unless you got some anxiety all the time. And I mean, honestly, sometimes it's crazy, you know, how much it scares you. But while you're going through all this, I love these comments, honey. While you're going through all this, the best piece of advice I can give you, and the challenge I'm going to give you, is we've talked about how your friends can't relate. Hold on, I got to make a message. Richard, how is the meat not on the grill? It's been 40 minutes.
The grill won't heat up. It's like under 200 degrees.
Turn it back off and turn it on.
I did that twice.
My dad, fastest griller in the West. And now my boys are yelling at us. But the challenge I want to give you guys before we get off here is what I said about friends don't understand, family doesn't understand, people don't understand, is connect with someone. Connect with someone around you. I've been blessed to have, like, mentors and people like the old owner of a body shop that I used to work at, that I meet with, and I get to talk about these things. Because it's not common to be able to have these issues and talk about them. So the challenge I have to you is connect. If you're going to do that, leave that in the comments below on this video. Write connect. That you're going to connect with someone that is going to help you understand what's going on what the business is doing to your life, to your marriage, to everything else. Connect with someone that can relate to you. It'll change your life. It'll change the way you feel. Make connections. The more people you can, the better. Find someone the same. Find someone with a smaller business and less. Find someone that's 20 times the size of you. Find a multi-million-dollar business, you know, and talk to all of them and realize that 9 times out of 10, what you're afraid of, everybody has went through. It's a part of business, and you're just on your way. You're just on your way to getting there. Elijah, kind of off topic, but have you read the 4-Hour Workweek? Yes, I have read the 4-Hour Workweek. It's a good book. It depends on what type of business you have that you could make something like that work. And I get, like, so I listen to Grant Cardone talk about the 4-Hour Workweek, and it's, I don't get it. Like, yeah, I mean, I want to be able to go out and hang out with my family. I want to be able to go and take vacations. I want to have plenty of time. But, I mean, I've got a lot of passion for the things I want to do and the business stuff that I want to do. I think I'd be miserable if I worked 4 hours a week and that's all I did. Like, I'd have anxiety. Sometimes on vacation I have anxiety because I've got ideas that I feel guilty about acting upon because I feel like I should be doing more vacationing and less idea having for business, you know. So I've read it. Every book you read, take the nuggets out of. You know, I think they talk about virtual assistants in that. They talk about different things that you can use in your business to automate. And so maybe it's not the 4-hour work week you're trying to create. Maybe it's a more successful business. So where your business is at, maybe your best thing is selling work and you are a hammer. Or maybe your best thing is running operations, and, you know, maybe the thing that, like, is a total time suck to you is answering the phone. So now you can go and get a virtual assistant to answer the phone, to get some of these things coming in the system, so you don't have to go out and have an office right off the bat. So there's nuggets in every single thing you read, whether it's the life you want to live or not. There's always something you can take out of a book. But I think it's cool if someone wants to find out a way to have a life like that. I think that's awesome. Me personally, I am on the way to trying to figure out how my business can operate without me, so I can go start another one in another state, or be able to go do what we did when we went down to Cape Coral multiple times, or so we can figure out how the lawn maintenance can be franchised into every state in the U.S. So all those things I just said, like the 4-hour work week, had good input on how to make that happen. So loved it. I'm trying to get these comments to come back up. Here we go. Elijah, I agree. I more like the productivity tips and such, not totally how I plan to live. Basically, yeah, just what I said. The productivity tips and how to use that book to grow your business. And we're about to wrap this up, guys, so leave comments before we wrap this up. How to run your business more efficiently, how to make your business better, how to do more with less. I mean, that's all that book is how to do more with less. So if you don't have a 4-hour work week and you still have a 40-hour work week, 50, 60, and 80, 100, whatever the work week is to you, if you take the 4-hour work week and you learn how to do more with less, and now you still go out and spend 40 to 50 hours, 60, 80, 100, whatever it is you spend, now you can do even more. You can create even more. Elon Musk said the way he has been so successful, and I reference Elon a lot because he's a badass. I mean, he's just a badass if you haven't looked at anything he's saying. But the way I'm so successful is when everybody else works 40 hours, he works 80 hours. So in half a year's time, he's got, whatever it comes out to be mathematically, almost a year under his belt where he's ahead of people. And not everyone can function like that. And it's probably not healthy, and it's probably not healthy for him. But it's something to think about. It's not saying work 90, 100 hours a week. It's figure out how to be so efficient that it's like you're working 90 to 100 hours a week. So before I get off here, the challenge. Leave it in the comments below if you're going to do it. Connect in the comments below. Connect with someone that can relate to what you're doing. Someone smaller in business, someone bigger in business, someone in the same area, so you can relate. I got a buddy in Dallas, or in Austin area, Chad. We're similar in business size, and we talk, and it's like, holy cow. You'd think no one else has got the problems I've got. It's like you talk to him, the exact same things he's going through, because it's the part of business. Don't feel alone. Don't feel left out. Nobody talks about the stress, the fear, the just total running for your life feeling sometimes you can have, the suicidal thoughts business could cause, that you see like a whole different side of business of people just thinking they got to give up because it's been too much. Go out and find other people that can relate to that to help you and help you in your life. Before I get off here, thank you so much, honey, for commenting. Yeah, I mean, business causes depression. Business causes everything. It's a freaking real challenge that people just downplay. People look at you like you're super successful just because you got a business, and they got no freaking idea. And it's so dumb, and it makes you feel like an alien, like you're not even on the same planet when you talk to people. Elijah, we're actually going to meet with the owner of a large landscape company in our area. It should really be interesting to check. That's going to be awesome. I've been saying for years I wanted to go up to Chicago, and there's some of the top 100 landscape companies up there, and I want to get ideas from them for our landscaping division, like how to automate things, how to make things easier. And I mean, we're making a ton of improvements on our own, but I know there's just so much to learn. And that's the crazy thing, is how much there is you can do, and you can't do it all. And that's the other fun thing about business, is you gotta pick gut instinct. What's gonna be the best thing? What are you gonna do? What's gonna make the biggest impact? What's gonna change the most lives, the most everything? It's unreal. David, hey man, caught this one on the tail end. I'm working to connect over the winter. Awesome, David. That is it, man. Connect with people, learn from people. That's why I've spent, I'll have people that watch my stuff and probably think I'm an idiot for spending so much on conferences. I've spent anywhere from $100 a ticket to something to $10,000 a ticket per person to go to something, because I wanted to learn. Learning is the shortcut. finding out something that, you know, the most dangerous thing to you is what you don't know. You know, what you don't know in business is what's going to creep up and kill you. So whether it's the hurdles that you're 5 foot from and you don't even know it's coming because you haven't been there. Well, Elijah, when you go and talk to the company that is whatever, how many times, just say 10 times bigger than you, they're already going to have been there. And so since they can see where you're at along the progression of business, they can say, hey, look at that next hurdle. It's going to be a bad one. This is going to be the one that makes you or breaks you. And when you know something's coming, you can plan for it. You can plan, you can make it happen, you can change it. So Elijah, that's why that's an awesome idea. David, connect over this off season, connect with people to make your business better. Everyone that's watching this, if there's anything I can tell you, it's connect with different people. Don't just watch YouTube. Don't just hear things. Look into these situations. Make sure the stuff you're looking into is awesome. Like I said in the last video, I just watched a video because I saw someone else talking about it, about a guy telling you to go out and 1099 your employees or suggesting it's a good idea. So also fact check on who you're listening to. You know, not everything you hear on YouTube is right, and not everything you're watching, it just makes it a good connection because I'm talking. Fact check me. Know what I've done in business. Know that I'm going to be successful and I'm going to keep being successful and I'm never going to stop. And if you listen to what I'm doing, that it's going to be a good thing for you because it's kicked butt for us so far. And that's not being an arrogant or cocky thing. That is just fact check who you're listening to. Fact check the people that are going out there and doing stuff that you see on YouTube. And that's what's best about what you guys have talked about meeting people in person, because you can see what's going on. When you meet those people in person, Elijah and David, ask them not just their revenue, not just their employees, not just how they operate their business, ask them how healthy their business is. Like a healthy profit is what really determines how good a business is doing. So, David, love to see what you guys are doing at Scooters. It opens my mind up to see what and how you guys are doing on Facebook. That's awesome, man. Facebook's been huge for us. Facebook has changed our business. It's gave us more business. It's gave us branding. It's gave us recognition. It's got people out there to connect with them and tell them what we care about, what we want to do, how we want to do it, how we want to make an actual personal connection with a person and not just show them a picture of bushes that are trimmed or a picture of green grass and say, you know, we'll weed eat your lawn and trim your bushes and that's good enough. You know, we've told them that we want to basically get that out of the picture and talk about how we want to make your life better by saving you time. So just like these kids are back here while I'm shooting this video, so you can spend more time with your family and friends doing the things you enjoy. So we can, like say if I went out and we built lanais, I want to build lanais so I can create a lifestyle for a family that is their dream lifestyle, that is bug-free, where they get to have the environment where their family and friends can enjoy together and they can have lasting connections that change their life. Wow, that's a lot better than, hey, I'm building screen stuff so your bugs don't get to get in. But that's it. We've been rolling for 48 minutes and 10 seconds. We're going to wrap this up. Everybody leave comments. Everybody hit the like button. I've only got 1 like so far. Come on, guys. Hit the like button. This was good. This was meaningful. This was transparent. Thank you, everyone, for commenting. Thank you, everyone, for watching. I will talk to you soon. We'll be making more videos. And while we're on vacation in Florida, they will all be live. See ya.